Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something. We got hats. We got sweatshirts. We got jackets. We even got hoodies. Let's not forget our classic tees. Direction, choose your own path.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
Direction, choose your own path.
You know, this is the home of We Major, Me Frosty, Unfamous, and the restricted clothing brands. Let's get it.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basic. Pay attention. Stay alert. And remember, choose your own path.
Subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
Run! It's a stampede! DJ Ham the Stamp. DJ Ham the Stamp.
Did I do that?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I did that. Me, what's going on? What's going on, man?
I didn't even know I was on the TV. One of my buttons ain't buttoned up. Hold up. I'm up here all inappropriate. I'm fucking around so nipple. I didn't see that.
Wow. Shit like that.
Oh,
Shit like that.
I remember one time you had a robe on, so I said, oh, he must be doing this on purpose.
Look, I am known for robes. I gotta say that. I listen, it's late night. Man, why'd you play that video? That right? I don't even remember seeing that video. I was cutting up in that video. I was cutting up.
You didn't remember that one?
I remembered it once it was playing, but then I didn't remember them women was rude like that. I was funny, and they called dudes dick riders because they was laughing at me. It wasn't right. Like, that was a 100%, if you look at it, it was exactly what I speak of. That just bothered me. I came up there, I'm being really funny, and then just to see these women, do you have a question for us? Like, that's what the show was about. Come up here and ask them hoes questions or something. Nobody told me this.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Ladies and gentlemen, the legend Tommy Sotomayor is in the I was
watching. Is my voice and everything okay?
Yeah, you sound good. You sound good. I'll make sure. Do you have an equalizer or is it just volume up and down? Do you have like treble bass?
I stopped watching Denzel Washington after
Wow.
Okay.
Put him in a fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Hey, look. Hey. Does it sound bad? Because you said it don't sound bad. Then you asked me if I had this piece of equipment. So apparently it does.
It sounds so. I know that microphone. That microphone is a great microphone. But the equalizer, you can take out a little bit of treble, put in more bass, things of that nature. But if you can't do it, it's fine.
Is it based up?
So when you talk loud, it distorts just a tiny bit, but it may be more me than like the crowd.
Might be me. I think I've heard.
Nah, it's good though. It's good.
I'm sorry. I do apologize for my shitty equipment.
No, there you go. See, I turned it down just a bit over here. What it was doing, it was peaking a bit. That's all.
Oh, so, when I was yelling like I do, I try not to. I try not to.
I got you on this side though.
I try to subdue myself. I really apologize for that. Sometimes it's coffee. You see this coffee, this McDonald's McCafe. They give it to you at home. It's like
shit like that, shit like that, shit like that.
It's somebody delivering cocaine right to you. They just say, "Here you go. You gotta come see me, bro."
Indeed. We have 370 people in a building. Let me check the likes real quick. And we have 168 likes.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Let me slow down the chat as you guys get the likes up, and we shall get started. Let me slow it down.
That chat was moving fast. I think they was looking at that video too. Now I'm telling you, I was dropping some jewels. I was.
Well, a couple of the ladies in the chat said he wasn't wrong though.
Hey, it's some girls over on was it Hollywood on Lock? I used to go over there and I get cussed out. But there was this one skinny girl, and I like skinny girls. I do make you look bigger. But anyway, I like skinny girls. So I sat there and the skinny chick, all I wrote was I said, "Are y'all not tired of seeing black women twerking? Because it's all you see. Every one of these things is showing." Black girl told me I got a little dick, told me I'm gay, told me I hate myself. And it was some black girls that started to hit the like, and the likes kept going up. And then they came in the comment section and they said, "He's not wrong though." And I kept thinking, I'm not wrong. People have been saying I was wrong for years. I'm not wrong. Nobody can ever tell you there's something I said that was fucking wrong. They can tell you every excuse in the world, just like in that show. When I came on your show, there was not a thing I said that was wrong. Yet the women found a problem. Instead of, he's not wrong. I'm sorry. Call me.
No, hey, listen, I'm listening. I have questions, but, needless to say, we are certainly going to get there. I wanted to rewind just a tad bit, Tommy, because I'm fairly new to the YouTube game. Lisa, yes, we are live. So I got started. I was saying
that chain and jacket game. I see you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate every single. I appreciate everybody coming through for the interview. So it's only right I present myself as best as possible. Because you guys take the time to come and oblige me, and I'm humbled by it. So at least I could do is present well. So I wanted to rewind, right? Because I've been doing this. I would say like focused in on doing it maybe a year and some change. Brothers like yourself. Angry Man, I had some dope interviews. This lady named Love Dorsey, I'm not sure if you heard of her. Zoe Williams, just doing the interviews. People coming over to the panel and participating. And so I wanted to ask, when you got started, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, was it 2016, 2015?
No, you way off.
Okay.
I started in 2009.
Okay, why did I got it switched up with someone else in my head. 2009.
Somebody else. You look at you. Anyway, that other guy started in 2012. 16. I started in 2009. In 2009, I started with this thing called Blog Talk Radio.
Okay.
And at that point, I had a bunch of money from the sale of a company that some friends of mine had, and I had been like wandering around, didn't really know what to do, and I said, I want to use I want to be in broadcasting. I had done some broadcasting, had actually worked with Rush Limbaugh. And I said, well, I think I can do that. And the girl I was with was like, well, there's a thing called Blog Talk Radio. You can start your own show there and go from there. Because I was like, the stuff I say, if I worked at a job, I would get fired. But I don't need a job. So I started doing that. And it got really, really big. Because before that, I was putting up stuff on Facebook. And my Facebook like blew up. Everybody wanted to comment on my Facebook. Okay. So I just started doing it there, and the woman She's still friendly with me. And this is a really a beautiful soul woman. She liked what I was doing so much that she said, I'm going to start posting it on YouTube. I didn't know what YouTube was. I never messed with YouTube, didn't search YouTube.
Yeah.
One day I woke up and I had a bunch of inbox messages. My inbox was full of messages. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And she had posted a clip called The Type of Black Woman That Everybody Hates.
Okay.
And it went viral. And from that point on, it was a wrap.
Man. And so what year was that?
That was like 2010, maybe. 2010,
Okay.
2011.
And then at that juncture, you transferred to YouTube?
Yeah, well, she just kept putting stuff up there. And then they kept sending checks. So she kept putting more stuff up there. And I kept saying more things because they kept sending more checks. I said, wow, they're really paying. Like, it was crazy. I think the first check I got was like $400. I said, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
And the next check I got was like $1,500. Then the next check I got was like $5,000. And the next check I got was like $15,000. I think the biggest one YouTube has ever given me was $102,000 for a month.
Man.
You know how much push I was getting at that point? That's why I ended up leaving the girl I was with. I wasn't shit. I was getting out the $102,000 walking around. These white bitches is giving head. I left.
God damn.
Wow.
Golly. Man, oh man. Like, share, subscribe.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Hold on. You cued it just in time, Tommy. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me show you this.
You want answers. I want the truth.
Oh, daddy.
Man, so Blog Talk, what was that on? Like, what platform was it? Was it like the radio, like the actual radio, or was it one of those streaming?
It's like how YouTube is, except for if you couldn't see anything.
Okay.
But I remember I always said, because when I was working with Russ Limbaugh, I said, if people could see us while we were talking, that would be interesting. Because yes, it's radio, and it would handle like radio. But if they could see what we were doing behind closed doors, that would be interesting. So that's how I started doing. That's why everybody got the mic and all the shit that they're seeing. There was no one doing it before I was. I was just sitting up there. I would broadcast what I would do on Blog Talk Radio on video.
Gotcha. And do you remember what that specific viral clip was? Do you remember what it was? That first viral clip? Off the top of your head?
It was called The Type of Black Woman Everybody Hates.
Oh, okay, that's what it was called.
That was literally the name of it.
Oh, okay, understood.
The Type of Black Woman Everybody Hates. And actually, I didn't get a bunch of hate from that one. I think they allow you. I think like you can hate black women once, like a mulligan, because they don't look at it as you hate us. It's just you said this one thing. So I said this, and they put it on. That's when World Star Hip Hop was at its peak, and pretty much everything I would say, after a while they started just putting on World Star Hip Hop. It didn't matter what I said; they would just put it on World Star, and I think that's why it got so big. That's why it was so much money. Because I think when I would put up a video, the lowest count would probably be about 900,000. Every video I put up, it hit 1 million. Okay.
Back then, awesome. So that's interesting because it actually is partly another question I have. It's like two parts, right? So you did it, you saw that it was money coming, right? So you continue to do it, right? There is a sentiment that the agenda is, in this space when talking about the women, telling men to up their game, so to speak, is almost like what people accuse doctors of doing. Get you just well enough to where you got to keep coming back because of the money. So it's like it's being accused of being like a money grab, not necessarily to help people.
Well, I'll explain it this way.
Okay.
If I started doing it in 2009 and it didn't do big until 2011, that's 2 years of nothing happening, and I kept saying the same thing.
Okay.
So I wasn't trying to make any money off of it. Money came from, I'm good at something. It's like if you have a big penis, you always had one, and they start paying to see it. You can't say the only reason he has one is because there's money in it. No, he always had it. It is crazy to say it, but I understand the thought process. When people say I'm not trying to help, that would be crazy, because let me tell you how you could have easily put me out of business. It's 2 ways I could have been put out of business.
Okay.
1, don't watch. two don't give me something to talk about. If the change happens, I have nothing to talk about. By their logic, they said Tommy doesn't want things to get better because his money will stop. Well, you could piss me off by not giving me something to talk about, by literally changing. Imagine if you were in a relationship with a woman and you keep saying, you wouldn't clean up the house anyway, even if I stopped cheating. Well, once you keep putting that word if in it, if you really wanted this woman to clean up the house, and she said, if you stop cheating, I'll clean up the house. Why wouldn't you just see what would happen? Because you like cheating and you want to give an excuse to keep doing it. Because if these women didn't like ratchet shit, they would literally just say, hey, let's get together and make him look bad. You know, like how y'all call everybody zesty. Y'all got together to do that. Y'all got together to try to shame men. Y'all do that in large numbers. Y'all call yourself queens and goddess in large numbers. But when someone asks you to do better, you tell them to become blind and not see it.
Question, Tommy, and this, you know, I don't know how the analytics work on like Rumble, but you know, like YouTube, you can see all the analytics. Do you know off the top of your head, like throughout your time, what percentage of your viewers were women? Even if you had to speculate.
It started off like it was at one point like when I first started, I could see it. That like 80% was women. Then it started to equal out. I think what happened was women was watching out of morbid curiosity, kind of like watching the bearded lady at the circus or the woman with 3 tits. You just wanted to see it. And so the women would just watch it to see what I was going to say next. And then they would start telling their dudes. And I think that's what was the issue. Like a lot of women start telling their dudes, like,
yeah,
what do you think about what this guy's saying? And the dudes was like, he kind of got a point. And so it became that. And I think the more the dude started saying he kind of got a point, it started causing a problem in the house. Before, I think women will bring things to men wanting men, like when they say, do I look fat in this dress? They have a pre-canned answer they want you to give them. That answer is called no. If you say anything, even if you hesitate, if you say, turn around, let me see. Uh-oh. If you say, uh-oh. If you say yes or hell no, World War III, man, Krakatoa, it's about to go down. So why did you ask me an open-ended question, but then get mad at the answer I gave? And I think that's what happened. A lot of girls were expecting their man to say, this nigga ain't shit. And they started saying, I think you got a point.
Man. And what do you think that did to the state of relationships overall when that happened?
I think it just made people start questioning, because I never told people to leave or don't deal with black women. I told them to question it, because my original purpose was I wanted to talk about men and what they go through dealing with women, because I had went through something dealing with women, and I wanted to talk about it because I'd seen especially like I had went to jail. And when I went to jail, I was talking to men, because I'm one of these people. I like asking questions, so I'd never been in jail. I wanted to ask these men, what brought you here? But a little bit of time I was there, I asked them, what brought you here? And the majority of them were there due to a woman, and it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, but I thought these women loved us. Why are we all here due to something? And all these men would tell the saddest stories about having children that they had nothing to do with. But not that they didn't want to have anything to do with it. The women made it difficult. That's how when I got enough backing, remember the first project I wanted to do was A Fatherless America, my movie, which you guys can check out right now on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
That was my passion project. It wasn't fuck black women. And A Fatherless America had nothing to do with black women. It was fathers, the importance of fathers. I haven't done a black woman movie. Why not? Because to me, the biggest issue was, if we're supposed to be together, then we need to be together. Why would you, a house divided cannot stand. And the black house is amazingly divided. And we cannot keep blaming the white man or racism or any other ism. It's us. It's not ism. It's us.
Okay. Damn. And you think the key catalyst for that separation and where we are on the totem pole is the fathers not being involved, or fathers being unable to be involved for a multiplicity of reasons? Or you think the moms are pushing them away? Like, you think that's just the key issue that will help us fix these, our overall separation?
The key issue was we gave black women an overinflated sense of self. The black woman started to feel like she was better than the black man, and it started back in the 70s when black women started going on Donahue in the 80s and the 90s. Black women have a problem with what I say on YouTube in 2010, 2011. But they didn't have a problem with what black women were doing in front of national audiences of millions, telling white people that they're educated, they got jobs, and they can't find no man. Telling white people that the majority of black men are in jail, jobless, or gay. They got up in front of the world begging white men and every man of every other race to date them. Black women never had a problem when Diane Carroll in the 70s was on television kissing white men. They never called her a sellout. They never called Diana Ross a sellout for being with white men. They never called any black woman anything for being with white men. They pushed it. Black men did not start getting a leg up until Wesley Snipes, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson. And I'm talking about real black men. I know light-skinned niggas because we see them. But dark-skinned black men, we didn't cry, we didn't bitch, we didn't moan. We started to become the face of things. Then it became a problem that the black men did the exact same thing that black women had been doing for years.
Man. Tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Tommy, just to dig into the we, because you said we allow black women X, Y, and Z, right, to get an inflated sense of self. Who's the we there?
See, the first people who did it, and you might not want me to go there. But the first
go
people
there.
Who created the separation are people who are white, but they wear little bitty hats.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't understand that they were the ones who controlled the media. The media was the same people. I was talking to a bunch of old people, not old because I'm old, but they were older. They were parents. So they were like 20 years older than me. Okay. And, you know, sometimes you go to family fun. Well, when it don't happen to you, maybe like that. But it happens to me. I'm like a curiosity every time the family has a function. When I show up, that's him. So I knew what would happen. As soon as I came in, the black folks, what do you think about? And I killed it. They asked me a question about what I think about where black people are. And I said, well, we have a group of women, because they were asking about, you know, all these questions about what I think about Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
I said, Jasmine Crockett and black women get to go around complaining about everything that white women do. We have a group of people who put them out front and let them say it. The black woman, Jasmine Crockett, was able to go on television and say, bleach blonde, bad built, butch body. I put up pictures of Jasmine. Jasmine has a horrible shape. Black folks would make fun of her shape. Her shape is so bad that she rarely lets you photograph her from the neck down. She sits in the house with that weave on her head, throwing it around and doing like this. And every black girl sits there and talk about her like she's the greatest gift since sliced bread. Go look up any picture of Jasmine Crockett full body. She's got that fupa, that stomach inside the pants. But she hides it. We don't know what she looks like without a ton of makeup and weave on. We have no idea. But she was able to say this woman who actually works out is butch built. Now, we know what butch means, right?
Yes.
We know what it means to call a woman a butch. The left doesn't make body shaming comments, number one. They're supposed to be up for it. They're the Lizzo. They're the ones who gave us Lizzo. And they're supposed to not be homophobic. But you know who's allowed to be homophobic, racist, and body shame?
Who's that?
Black women. Black women call people the F word all day and gay every time they don't agree with you, don't they? Tell me I'm lying. And black women sit up there and their best friend is usually some gay man who says nothing to her. Now, Hamp, let me ask you something. Would you sit up there with your white friend as your white friend called another black person the N-word? And he said, oh, I'm just talking to him, not you.
No.
So why do you think gay men sit there and continue to be black women's friends when as soon as a black woman doesn't like something a black man says, she calls him sassy? She calls him the F word. She'll call him some form of gay. Why is it that none of their gay friends ever stand up and say, hey, if you feel that way about him, how you feel about me? You know why? Because black women are like retarded children. People let them do and say whatever they want because it's inconsequential. The only people black women are hurting is their family. And I'll wrap it up with this. I talked about what happened, the small hats who own the media, who pushed that whole queen black woman stuff. Let me tell you what they did in the 80s. And all the black people, the elder black people in my family said, I don't like that nigga on Fox and stuff. And I'm kind of mad he up in here. But he right this. I said, there you go. Thank you. That's an illustration there, baby. That's an illustration. But I pointed out, I said, I was young and I figured out something's wrong. I didn't know who caused it, but I knew something was wrong. I said I was watching Revenge of the Nerds. One, because I was a nerd. But two, I'm watching it and all the nerds were all intelligent and they all wanted cat though. They all wanted to sleep with women. They just were nerds. Except the black nerd. The black nerd was gay. Why was the black nerd gay? Then you watch the movie, another one of my favorite movies. Yeah, Lamar was a flamer. It wasn't even hidden.
Yeah.
Then I watched something called the Mannequin. I love the Mannequin.
Okay.
The Mannequin. The black guy in there was gay too. I kept noticing that every time they put black men on television, they was real flamers. And I said, oh. And as I got older, I started to realize they're sticking the black women with white men. They're making the black men either be criminals. Because even when you watch the movie The Mac, the light-skinned guy was the only criminal with a heart. All the dark-skinned characters, thugs. And I'm a little boy, so the only time I got to see a dark-skinned man not be the thug in the movie was when I got to see Eddie Murphy. And what was Eddie Murphy? Well, he was the clown. He still was not the love interest.
Yeah.
He was the clown, and he'd always, Mr. Victor Maitland, he would still do that. He would still have to show himself.
Man.
As I got older, I started to say, well, this is something I can talk about because I'm tired of this. But yeah, that's where it started. And black women ate it up. That's the problem, I'm telling you. Black women did not have a problem leaving their man. Let me explain. Today, black women have no problem telling black men, we the most educated, we the biggest entrepreneurs. Why would you say that to the other half of your being? Let me say this. If black women believe they're the most educated, this means they're the most irresponsible too, because their children are the least educated. The least educated children in the system today are black children. How is that possible if your mama's so smart? Imagine if the brokest kids in society came from the richest group of men. Don't you think they'd have been calling us out by now? Black men, the richest men on earth, their children, the poorest.
Man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Now, during that monologue, Tommy, you said, the black women kind of get to do this thing where they can weaponize a man's make a black man effeminate, right, by calling him different names, right, while still befriending homosexuals and things of that nature. And there's no pushback from the LGBTQ community when they use their orientation as an insult, right? And now one word you used was, or what I heard was, it's inconsequential, right? They can be insulting because like this is just nobody cares, or it doesn't have an effect, or they don't make enough impact, or they just viewed as lesser than. Like, what is how do they get away with that allegedly?
If I was on the mic right now and I said, Camp, you stupid, you don't know nothing, you'd laugh before you got offended. You know why?
Why? When
they give the Miss America award or the school homecoming queen to the chick with Down syndrome, you ever notice that everybody claps?
Yes.
Because you just gave it to somebody that I know is not my competition. Why do you think white women say nothing when black women call white women unseasoned chicken, smell like dog, ain't got no butt? White women don't say a word because white women know that even though they unseasoned chicken and smell like dog and ain't got no butt, they still can take your man. They can walk out the house looking like how they look every day and have no problem getting them a rich man, getting them an athlete. It's not an issue to them. They don't need somebody to say white girl magic. Whenever you need somebody to say things like that, you've already shown the world that you're less than. Think about it. You're less than when you're constantly asking people to give you a prefix. Black women are no different than trans women.
Like,
you gotta constantly tell this man he's a woman. You gotta constantly tell this man he pretty. You gotta constantly act like you don't see that this man's a man. And you have to do the same thing to black women. It's like the book, The Emperor's New Clothes. Or the emperor, I think this was called, where the emperor is going around naked because the people were stealing his gold and pretending that the only people who could see his clothes were people who were from God and who were godly and were supposed to be royal. So the king was afraid that he would get outed that he's not royal. So he pretended that he noticed that they were actually sewing clothes on him.
Yeah.
But they were stealing his gold. And when he finally went out and walked around waving, all the people in the crowd pretended that they saw it too because they didn't want the wrath of the king. And it took one little child to stand up and say, he's naked. You know who I am? The child who keeps pointing out that he's naked. Black women are naked. I've never said anything wrong. No one can point out what I've said that is wrong. So if I've never said anything wrong, why would somebody bring up he making money off of it? He was rich before he started.
Yeah.
2. Why would they say he hate his mama? We just sit up there. You got somebody in your comment section, the Richarda. Richarda can't help herself. She didn't agree to nothing I've said, and I haven't been wrong. He's projecting bad. Notice that they allow black women to just say stupid shit like Richarda, whatever her name is. Richarda has not disputed a thing I've said. Just keep making these dumbass canned responses that you can find from black women, and they're put here for dissension. Because if she was actually here to listen, there'd be something I've said that she said, well, he makes sense there. But nope, everything I say is problematic to her. And that's the problem. Because I haven't said everything. I haven't said one thing, and she can't tell you what I've said that is wrong. He's projecting. No one projects more than you do when you have a problem with Caitlin Clark. Nobody projects more than you do when you walk around with a blonde wig on telling the white woman that she's cultural appropriating. You got some nerve.
So, Tommy, in terms of the analogy, because it does paint the picture where you can clearly understand it, but the king has the influence and power, right? That's why it was only one like, hey, you naked, right? But everybody else is like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
They were afraid.
So that part though, how does that correlate to black women? That part, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, why? Go ahead.
See, a child has no power, but if I slap a child in public, guess what'll happen? Everybody will get mad because I slapped a child.
Yeah.
A retarded person has no power, but if I make fun of the retarded person in a joke, everybody wants to come to the retarded person's defense. Black women are the retarded kid in the class. Everybody comes to their defense. Men who have been done wrong by black women will still argue with me because they like to sleep with them. Democrats would like to get their votes, and they know black women vote not for what you can actually do, but for how you make them feel, which is why they have baby daddies that they don't like, because at the time they felt turned on by them. At the time they felt. The majority of things you hear about black women is how they feel, not what they actually know. And that would be odd coming from the group that claims they're the most educated. Notice, again, when I have discussions, no matter how horrible they sound, they should be judged upon their merits, but they're not. Like when I say something about a retarded child, it could be true, but they say, you shouldn't say that because that child retarded. But it's true, though. Why is it that we believe we can talk shit about people who are alive, who got to feel if we say words that hurt, if I say something to you right now, if I play the dozens with you and I say some real shit, it'll hurt your feelings in front of everybody and everybody laugh. As soon as you die, though, if I say those same things, you know what they say? You shouldn't talk about a dead person. So wait a minute. He dead. He don't have to go through the humiliation and embarrassment now. So you were okay. And this is Black train of thought. Black women have taught their children this. Tear somebody down while they're alive. Respect them when they're dead. That's a Black woman tenet. Black women are the main people who do this. They're the main people who get up in church when somebody died and crying and falling out, talking about how great they were. You were just talking about this person last week. You were just saying that this woman's a hoe last week. Now she dead and you crying, talking about we gonna miss her? Well, I'd rather you be honest, and I'd rather you be truthful, and I'd rather you be straightforward. And that, again, to go back to where you're saying the power dynamic. There's no power that Black women have. People use them. You know, like how Derek Jackson used them to fuck them. He didn't mean a word he said. He said Black men cheat and all this stuff. He knew that Black women wanted to hear it, and he know that Black women are the easiest people to get out their pants. They are. Look at how Steve Harvey, think like a man. All these men, look up, you remember, I don't know if you remember, Young Pharaoh said he was going to beat me up if he ever meet me because of the way I talk about Black women. Guess who ended up talking about them worse than I did once he got off house arrest and got some money? Look at Dr. Umar Johnson. He says Black women are the greatest thing in the world. He got 2 kids by 2 different women and is not married at his old age now. How great are Black women if he ain't even married to one? How great are Black women if he ain't even trying? People know they can say things to Black women and get them out of the money that the government gave them, the money that the job gave them. Black women are considered consistently the worst people to wait on in the restaurant industry and the worst people to have wait on you. So why is it Black women continue to get a job? Because you don't want to get called racist if you don't hire them. Because Black women are constantly yelling, and tell me if I'm lying, racist. Your House of Representatives, your senator, sat there, Jasmine Crockett, said that white woman saying that she had large fake eyelashes was a racist comment. You ever heard a Black man on the House hollering racism? Why not? We get treated way worse than Black women. They kill Black men way more than they kill anybody, the cops. You don't see us sitting around, racism, racist. We didn't say it was racist when Luka Doncic jersey was the #1 selling. We didn't say it was racist when they keep on giving Jokic the damn the MVP. Black women call racism every fucking where they look. And it's embarrassing. But they allow them to do it because they know as long as Black women feel like they're above Black men, that's why 35% of our babies who are born to Black men don't belong to that Black man. Bet you know that. 35% of babies that Black women have that get tested, it's not the man who they tested. That's a sickening number.
Yeah. I went over that stat a few months ago, actually. Tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Tommy, that leads me to an interesting thought, right? If they're able to say what they want because they're looked at as a kid who is mentally inept, then who's the actual issue? Is it the defiance of those women or weak men that back them up?
Oh, that's the great part about it, though. And see, you got somebody sending money just to call me names. That's how empowering. That's how you know.
I'm not even looking at the chat right now.
I know. I just was saying that somebody's sending money to call me names, not sending money to just support you, but just to call me names. But let me say this: it's easy to have weak men when those men were raised by those same women who told them that they were gods, who told them that they were goddess. Black women are raising these simp ass dudes that you see now. Black women are raising them to be that way. So now you're going up against a bunch of men. I did a story yesterday about a 15-year-old girl, and the black woman and her boyfriend beat this girl, raped this girl, shot this girl, and burned this girl. 15. Half of her face is missing. She has one eye. She somehow survived. Do you know why she didn't leave, though? Because we've been telling these children that their mother is God and is infallible. She can't do any wrong. When you have people getting mad that I bring up, do white people get mad when Eminem was calling his mama a bitch? No. White people call their mama bitch all the time. If they mama do something wrong, they say she was wrong. Black folks, no matter what your mama do, she's always right. Well, that doesn't make sense. If you have an individual who is never wrong, then they will continue to push the envelope and they will continue to do the most sickening shit and then still tell you that I'm your mama. How many of y'all have heard a black woman say, if it wasn't for your mama, you wouldn't be here? Well, if it wasn't for your daddy, you wouldn't be here. Your daddy's the one that gave the living seed. Your mama was the incubator.
Yeah.
But, and think about it. They can incubate a child without the mom.
That's
They
a
still need
certain
a man's
point.
sperm.
Yeah.
Still need a man's sperm, don't they?
Yeah. It's actually sorry, they cutting the grass in the back. Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear anything. Sound clear as shit.
Okay.
Quiet, clear, quiet.
Indeed. So interestingly enough, I was doing an episode last week about the women of the Bible, because it's often seen as the Bible seen as very like misogynistic or chauvinist, right? But I was highlighting the great women of the Bible that did great things, and the men appreciated them for it and showed them love and praised them. One of the moms specifically, all seven of her sons were deleted because they wouldn't eat swine, right? Because it's you're not supposed to. And she said to her youngest son, they tried to use him to get her to sway. And she said, don't praise me, son. Praise God for you being here. She said, don't praise my womb at all, right? Praise the Most High for you being here. So in the Bible specifically, she made sure she gave the praise the Most High outside of herself, so that her son wouldn't, fall because he was leaning on her. You know what I mean? Looking at her as like a goddess, so to speak. So they couldn't pit him against her.
Jesus made a reference towards it too, and a lot of people didn't catch it. When he said, do we praise the wine that's in the jar, or do we praise the jar?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that reference was the mom held him. Do you praise him who's the giver of life? Do you praise him who is the Messiah? Or do you praise her because she held him? It is a silly thought. Your plate's a great thing. Your food is what's going to give you sustenance.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Damn, Tommy. So I was doing an episode, right, on independent women. I have 5 daughters. And I'm gonna raise them to be as functional human beings as possible, right? Teach them how to wrestle, box, handle a weapon, right? Be able to fend for themselves. I own a moving company, right? So get them acclimated into what I do, making them as such. Do you think that I would be a part of the problem? Because they're gonna be fairly independent. The man that they come across is gonna have to be able to do these things at the same level that they could, and then match me in terms of my presence for them to be accepting of it. Do you think fathers like myself could be an issue in terms of that mindset in independent women?
No, my daughter's headed off to college now.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of her. Graduated with honors.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want her to have to depend on a man, because I want my daughter to bring something to that man. I want it to be, see, we keep saying like it's 50-50. It's not 50-50. It's 100-100. You bring 2 whole things into something.
Yeah.
And if we're raising our daughters to not be users of men, then we're raising better women than they're raising today. Because I remember my grandmother said something to me when I was little, and I heard that line. She said, a wet pussy shouldn't equal a dry purse. That is just a way for a woman to manipulate a man. That's all it is. That her body is what's most important to her, not what she brings to a man, but what she can take from a man. And if you notice, the majority of the women, they don't think what they can bring to a man. They think what they can take from a man. Which is why you can see a nigga that's 70 years old, but as long as he got enough money, he can fuck a 20-year-old. But the 20-year-old won't fuck somebody her same damn age because he don't have what he shouldn't have at that age. He's 20. How should he be a millionaire? So now these women have caused these boys to feel like they got to sell drugs, become a rapper, or do something to get rich quick, which is why you have in Atlanta a bunch of black men going to jail, black boys trying to have get rich quick schemes. Not because they need the money, but because they want the women, because they've been told to value the women over everything. Have you noticed that as soon as a black man says something that black women don't like, the first words out of these queens' mouths is, "You don't get no pussy"? And they will say it that vulgarly. Pussy. Why would a queen speak that way, number one? And number two, why would I be judged by how many women I can sleep with if you claim you really wanted a faithful man? A faithful man, you would not encourage him to sleep with a bunch of women, but they do. You don't want your daughters to view men like that. And if you're raising your daughters to be a helpmeet instead of a user, then you're doing the right thing, because they will never need a man for anything other than what he can supply them that they can't supply themselves, which is that emotional attachment that we're supposed to get from each other as humans. But we've lost that. Now we have a parasitic attachment. Oh, Lord, Jesus done came and told your boy a message. Now we don't have a parasitic attachment to each other. What can we take? What can we get? How can we use? And if you look at the people in the comment section, that's how they get used so much. That's why you have a lot of these men making YouTube videos saying, I'd rather say something that I know is going to help them give me something. So even if I don't believe it, I'm going to say it because I know what they need. They need somebody to stroke their ego. They didn't come to me for the truth. They came to me to have the ego stroke, which is why you go to Christian churches now and they don't even preach out of they don't preach out of Revelations, because Revelations hurt too many people's feelings. Now the churches is letting gays in. Now the churches is telling you the pastor can be a woman. And again, my mother's a pastor and I still tell the damn truth. The truth shouldn't care who tell it. My mama's a pastor and I still tell her the Bible tell you ain't supposed to be that. What, am I not supposed to say that because of my mama? Am I not supposed to tell my brother he overweight even though his cholesterol through the ceiling and he could die? The Bible tells you what to all you Bible people? Correction comes from love. So for all these people who claim that I'm just such a bad person, it doesn't make sense because I ain't said anything wrong. And if you sit there and just listen to this, that it's common sense. We have moved so far away from wanting to be together to help each other that we become adversarial, and we're comfortable being adversarial. We look for the adversarial situations. Everybody had something to say about Cassie and Diddy because Diddy got money and Cassie pretty. But that black girl that was 15 who had all that happen because her mama do like the majority of black mamas do, and yeah, I'm going to say it, the majority of them. You run the father away and then you let some mentor, which is why we had Bishop Eddie Long, you let some mentor come around, you let some boyfriend you got, which is why 3 out of 4 black girls have been raped and or molested by the time they're 18. But y'all mad at what I say? You're not mad at what the single mothers are putting these children through? Huh? How dare I say that about black women? Well, tell that to these little girls who are growing up right now thinking that the only way they can survive is to become hard, to become hardened, and to become sexually acceptant of what was done to her as a child.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. In terms of the reference of black women, Tommy, do you think it's the minority or majority that are perpetuating these negative stereotypes?
I think it's the majority. Damn. Because when you say something about a negative stereotype, like when I said, aren't y'all tired of twerking? The answer should have been yes by the majority. When you see a lot of outlandish behavior, like, and I said this on my show with the judge that had been coming on my show, I don't think she'll ever come on my show again. But I think it's sad that this woman's an actual judge over people and is that biased. She said, she was talking about Jasmine Crockett. And I said, Black women should be disappointed, like my daughter was disappointed that she acted like that. Because she said she's tired of people thinking that that's how she's supposed to act as a Black woman. And then the woman said, well, don't you think that's a problem that people are expecting Black women to act like that? I said, no, it's a problem that y'all all came to her defense. If y'all had not come to Jasmine Crockett's defense, because she doesn't talk like that. If you look at her old video, like before she became this, she wasn't doing all this and Sister Girl Black. She wasn't. It's an act. And what happened is, if you put on this act in public and everybody laughs at it, if everybody say, you go girl, you'll keep doing it. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening. You have to blame them because women are propping up. Women do not shoot down women who do shit that make them look bad. They should. Men didn't sit up there and prop up that grown-ass Black man walking out in a dress singing the national anthem. Did you see a bunch of Black men saying, why y'all hating on him? Do you see a bunch of Black men saying, why y'all hating on the deadbeat dad? Yeah, Black women in the comment section that asked the question. One of them said, Tommy's created single mothers, and another one said, did the single mothers create themselves? I'll answer both of y'all questions. I can't create a single mom. I can't sleep with a woman without a condom. I cannot make her not take a morning after pill, and I cannot make her decide to have that child and not be in a relationship with me. I cannot make her not have an abortion. It's called a woman's right to choose. So you can't tell me you're a queen and a goddess, but you keep getting tricked into getting pregnant by lame clowns like me. Seems odd that you're so strong and educated, but you don't know what a birth control pill is. Seems weird that these things are happening to you, young lady. I can't make you do anything. You have to allow a man to have sex with you unless you're raped. You have to allow yourself to have sex with that man without a condom unless, again, you're raped. And you have to allow yourself, because you know when you're ovulating. I don't. You should know your body. But then again, we know that the majority of y'all don't know y'all body. Y'all just fucking for sport. And then want to turn around and say it's the man's fault when you decide to have it. That makes no sense when you're championing a woman's right to choose. My body, my choice.
Tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Damn.
Somebody said, Tommy, how many bodies your daughter got today? Worry about your fucking daughter. You over here blocking people on Twitter. I don't know what that means, but my daughter's going to Duke. Where's yours going?
And Tommy, obviously your daughter, well, let me ask the question just for people who may not know. Your daughters are fully Black?
Yes.
And then you have a woman right now? I know. Yeah, you do, right? I remember last time somebody was bringing you food and everything. So you're in a relationship, married,
yes.
Fiance? Okay.
Yes.
She's also Black? Two
yes.
parents Black?
Yep.
Okay, so how do you, so maybe not so much your daughters, but your lady, how did you decipher? Like, how did you know she was an outlier, I guess, if you're saying a majority perpetuate negative stereotypes? How did you find
her? Have to watch how people. Well, one, I tell men, I said, let a woman listen to what it is that I say. If she get mad, that is a horrible woman. Not that she's a great woman and all that stuff. I'm just saying, if a woman can't even listen to a difference of opinion from her own without getting pissed off and argumentative, then what's going to happen when you and she have a difference of opinion? So I tell them to let a woman listen to what I say. So typically what I do is a woman, if she can listen to what I say, I watch how she handles conflict. Mm-hmm. The Bible tells you how you don't want to be in a house with a contentious woman. You have to watch how that doesn't mean they won't cheat. That doesn't mean they won't do, but you do want some level of peace. And how do you get that peace? See how she handles conflict. Look in the comment section. I'm not talking to these people directly. Why would you even be that mad at anything I'm saying? Why would you not be able to, as a woman, handle yourself better than to name call me? That's the best you can do? Well, fellas, if you're watching these women do this, what do you think they're going to do when y'all disagree? Because y'all are having an intimate relationship. We're not, They're here on their own free will listening to this. And let me tell you a lot about the women that you see who have a problem with me. They could turn it off if they were peaceful people, because a peaceful person will not invite disharmony into their life. Somebody tell me I'm lying. You're not going to invite the disharmony. You're going to leave it alone. Imagine if I constantly watched gay porn and then told you I had a problem with gay porn. Would you believe it?
Tommy, I be forgetting. I think there's buzzwords for YouTube. So like the algorithm and stuff. So like as opposed to P words, say like corn and then like grapes as opposed to the other way. I be forgetting about it too. But
my bad. But just imagine if you're constantly finding yourself around something you don't like. If you did not like what it was I was saying, why are you here? Somebody says, why bring disharmony in the first place? This is how stupid they are. How did I bring disharmony if someone's asking me questions and I'm answering from my perspective?
Yeah, that's why I'm not looking at it, because I get distracted by it. You know,
I can do both, because I like to sit there and watch. I want the men. Here's why I do what I do, and I've been doing it. I want the men to see the type of women I'm talking about. These women can't control themselves, and I'm not talking to them. They're just saying stupid things. Why bring disharmony? How is somebody bringing disharmony if someone's asking them a question and they're answering the question they've asked? Imagine someone saying, well, what type of pizza you like? And they say they like pork, but you're against pork. So you get mad and say that they brought disharmony because they were answering the question about they dislike pork. You have to then think about it in that way. And I want you black men to see. So that's how I chose. I just don't want to come home to problems. That was the biggest thing that I know I can at least have a disagreement with this woman, and her first words ain't going to be to call me sassy. Her first words ain't going to be to challenge my manhood because we disagree. Her first words ain't going to be to call me gay or blackie or whatever it is. That we're going to have a discussion as adults.
Yeah. So that's and see, I think the loudest part is the part that you articulated, but more specifically in terms of your woman, because I think you were kind of answering a few different things when I asked that question. So in terms of your woman, like what did she decipher? How did you see that she wasn't like the black women that you reference? Because I think that's important for brothers, for like young brothers to identify.
One, she was able to see what it is that I do for a living and did not take it personally. Because it's funny that black women will be online doing corn on Twitter, but still tell you I'm more than what you see. So you're always supposed to tell them that they're more than what they see. But how will they judge you, fellas? Off what they see. If they saw you in clothes that didn't look good that day, they don't know if you're an engineer or a doctor. They just saw you that way and they immediately judged you. But you're not supposed to judge them. You're not even supposed to judge them on the fact that they got children by several different men. But they'll judge you if you got children by several different women. Mm-hmm. It should be an idea of you don't tell me that your first impression matters. So that's what I did. I sat and said, okay, this person sees what I'm doing and understands my goal. I think if you're a man and you have a plan, you need to have a person with you that understands your plan and backs your plan. And that's Bible-based. That's Bible-backed as well. You need someone that supports you. You cannot go. Do you think you can go on your mission if you have someone in your life that doesn't believe in your mission? You know how hard it was to be Dr. Martin Luther King's wife when they sending you videos and audio of him cheating? But you didn't come out and he ain't no good. You didn't do. Do you know how hard it is being Malcolm X's wife when you know they trying to murder your husband? And all you can tell, you could go sit and tell him, hey, you should stop saying that stuff. Just go along with what they want you to do. You know how hard it was to be JFK's wife? With all the women that was out there that he was messing with, but you had to believe in his mission. I'm not saying you get to do crazy stuff, but what I'm saying is if your woman does not believe in your mission, you cannot go on that mission with that woman. You can't go to Miami when this person want to go to LA. Y'all can't be in the same car because you can't split that car. That car's going one way. And if you want to pick the right woman, make sure you have a goal for yourself. I think that's a lot of problem with a lot of men. When we don't have a goal or direction in life for ourselves, we'll get a woman who will direct you. And as a man, you won't feel good. That's why you hear these women complaining a lot saying, I helped him get this, I helped him get that. And then when he got it, he left me. Well, because typically you were pushing him for something he didn't want. A man likes to be able to direct his own way in life and he resents you for everything you did, because you know what he knows? Every time he made anything that bothered you a little bit, you know what you brought up? That is because of you was the reason he's where he's at. And no man wants that.
Interesting. Can you give us a few? Because that's key, you know. And what are some of her other attributes though? I'm interested. Like I want us to be able to identify and separate, right? Because I think in our community, you alluded to it earlier, Tommy, that we don't separate from the people that we need to separate from in our community. We tend to hold everybody tight, i.e., no snitching and things of that nature. White people, now I don't even have that many white friends, like, you know, just generally speaking, but they do differentiate between the trash and the people who are doing well. We do not, right? And so if generally speaking, the majority of black women are characterized as not so good, just to be diplomatic, how do we identify, and more specifically, how do you identify it, being that you kind of open a lot of men's eyes to the negative that come with the black women allegedly?
Well, I just went with A. She had no children. B, had both her parents in her life. C, she's a lawyer, so she wasn't looking for me to give her anything. She had all of her own stuff was in order, was in line. And then you have a person who, again, to me, was the biggest thing was when we would have disagreements, she would not puff up during the disagreement. She became a female in the disagreement. If I would raise my voice, she would kind of cower a bit, not exacerbate the situation. It's like if I ran into a grizzly bear. If it go raw, I'm not going to say, come on, nigga. It's a bear, and I know it's bigger than me, and I have no problem humbling myself. And I watched those types of things, and then I watched how her mother treated her father. I saw that it's just these things that you saw which made you say, okay, a man wants to feel like if I'm with you, I want to protect you. And I look at that with my daughter. I had to whoop my daughter once in her entire life. She's 18 now. It was when she was 3. I tell people all the time, if you still whooping your child when they 8, 9, 10, 11, you did a bad job of raising that child, because your voice should be enough. And if you are with your woman, you know what your woman always asks you? Why is it when you talk, the kids just do what you say? But I got to argue with them because I'm that lion and that grizzly bear, and that's how they take it. That's why the needs to be there. So I look at it that way. If a woman respects the voice of a man, she'll respect your voice, period. If she doesn't respect the voice of a man, she won't respect yours. There's a reason why she was available when you were looking for a woman and she was there. There's a reason why she was still there. If there's a Mercedes-Benz on the side of the road and it's a beautiful Mercedes-Benz, nobody's claiming it, might have some problems with it. So you have to start there. You have to say, at least if I'm going to get this car, and I know I'm going to have to deal with some of the problems because it's not anything like hunky-dory, but at least I know I'm not going to have a situation where I'm physically fighting a woman, where this woman is in public and she's calling me a bitch-ass nigga in front of people. There's certain things you just cannot have. Okay. Malcolm X didn't have it. Yeah. And if you are a man with a plan and you're trying to achieve something, there's a reason why these black men who are going to the NBA are choosing white women. The NFL are choosing white women or non-black women instead of black women, because the black women who you see at these drafts, they got their butt out, they got their cat out, they got their breast out, they on their phone while they man getting drafted, they rolling their eyes, they on their Instagram making this man look crazy. You don't want that. You don't need that as a person. As a man with a plan, you need someone that's going to go along with your plan.
Okay. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let me check the likes real quick. We have 905 people in the building. We have 367 likes. Please hit the like button. That helps the channel the most. Did you see man versus bear, man versus grizzly in the woods? Who would you rather be in the woods with? Did you see all those memes, the TikToks?
You don't want to hear what I had to say about that.
Well, the YouTube version I do, not the Rumble version. But when I saw that, it was a lot of women of all races picking the bear. I actually saw 2 black women saying that's the dumbest shit they've ever heard. You know, so is it more so a Western thing or black women thing? And then also, what is your take on that?
It goes to show you that people don't value men anymore. That's why you can watch television and see the dad on all the shows is an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody respects men. And the more we give to women, the worse they treat us. If it wasn't for men, women would still be wearing burqas. Women can't stop men from taking what they want from them. The only people who stop men from taking things from women are other men. That's why I laugh when I watch all that crap. The people in there, you got one of your moderators in there, Robin, calling me crispy. Now, this is a moderator who's moderating for your show, sir. Mm-hmm. This woman can't even hold her own temperature down, and I ain't said anything to this woman. I don't know this woman. Why would you be a moderator for somebody's show who's running the show and you up there calling them crispy? Why calling me crispy? And then she laughed as she heard me say it. This is a moderator. I want everybody to watch this. This is a moderator who's supposed to be helping the show host moderate the comments, and they're making the comments. Men, watch this. They don't have any respect. Out of respect, there's no reason for you to do this. There would be none, but they're doing it. So, but this man provided the channel. This man provided the ability for other people to be able to see you be disrespectful. But instead of supporting the man and what he's doing, that's what you're doing. Because you made it about him or you, even though he built it. And that's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. You will build something and they will make it about them. The respectful thing to do would be when this is over, you can say everything you want to say about what it was you heard. But he crispy. Keep the same energy for Tyreek crispy is what Robin said. That's the moderator. She's still going. This is my point, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I speak about black women, because these people right here, you allow them to be able to do it. There's no respect. Respect would have been, let me tell you something. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your show, but let me tell you what I would have done. Let it have been my show. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, Robin's a troll, to be fair. To be fair, the other woman, stay out the chat. Ma'am, I use y'all to make my point. If it was my show, you know what y'all wouldn't have been able to do? That. You know why? Because I'm not going to let you sit up here and disrespect my guests. Your job is to listen. The problem is you have these people. Now, if you got something to say about what you're saying, look how many of them are saying, stay out the chat, stay out the chat. This is so disrespectful. All of them are women. All of them are women. Where are your men at doing this? Why aren't your men doing it? Because your men understand this is your show and you run the show. They're not doing that to you because they don't want to do it, because they say, whatever I got to say, I got to say it. Another woman, this ain't your show. You're right, it's not my show. And just like when I'm invited to a house, I will always tell people this. If I see you eating food that I don't like, or I see you acting in a way in which I don't like, you're right. I could just leave. It's funny how that works, though. Y'all never say that about whoever show y'all in the comment section fucking with. Y'all never say this is this person's show, so if they invited them here, then it must be all right with them. It's wild that you'd be at somebody else's house and they invite a guest and you up there trying to get them to make the guest leave. You don't like the guest. Their house, their party. You don't like the guest. So you try to antagonize their guest till their guest leaves. But anyway, when we're talking about these issues about the man versus the bear, women don't have respect for men. That's why I pointed that out. They don't have respect for you or your show. And they know you're not going to say anything to them, because as a black man, it's still your job to cater to them, even though they won't cater to you. You won't stand up and just say, hey, y'all cut that fucking shit out. Whatever you got to say, you say it. Because, well, these people might give me a couple bucks here and they're going to always be here. And I like them being around. And that's why we never get anywhere as men. Because who stands up and says what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong? That's why the man versus bear argument is there. Because they know even though they'll pick the bear, they go home and lay with a man. They don't lay with a bear. I've never seen one of these women who pick the bear actually show you a video of them at home with a bear. Every time something happens, guess who they ask to come protect them? Not bears, men. But y'all let them say it because y'all like pussy so much. And y'all sit up here and like the company of women so much, you let women be assholes and stupid. Because if they had respect for you or me, but mostly you, because they wouldn't do it on mine. That's why you can't find all these stupid son of a bitches around me. It's you that they don't have respect for, because at some point they'd say, we're going to stop being stupid because if he keeps reading the damn comments, we're not going to be ones to make the damn show go left.
Sound take. Yeah, when I do the interviews, I generally keep the comments off for a reason. But fair points being made, no question. I don't know the crispy reference. Are they saying you dark skinned?
Yes.
That's a bad thing.
Yes.
Being dark skinned.
Black Smoke, Midnight. Tyreek and she told one dude he black as a pack of soy sauce. He's so black. He what did he say? Close your eyes, black is what he said. Close your eyes, black. These are jokes that blacks constantly make. The same ones that tell you a coon.
Yeah, interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Question: do you think, though, in terms of the bear, right? And I know we talked about the black women, but I saw a bunch of women, and I will specify them by saying the West had those similar answers. So do you think it's levels to it, or you think Western women have these similar issues?
Western, that's why I said they don't respect men. When you can say,
they was everybody at that point.
Yeah, I say you can say things like this and still expect for men to help you. Yeah. They can make fun of men on movies and say men are stupid and still expect men to pay bills and go out and work and build skyscrapers. You can openly make fun of men. Is there anybody, they talk about male chauvinists, but women talk way more about men than men do about women. Women literally talk about men and challenge men's, what's her name? Gayle King. And I'm the only one who said something about it. Nobody else did. Gayle King was talking to Lenny Kravitz and said, do you have a woman and where she lives so I can go beat her up? This is on the heels, and everybody kept saying, it was just a joke. Why is it that women can make a joke about assaulting people, but men can't? Let a man make a joke about assaulting a woman. Why would anyone know who would step up and say, it's just a joke? She said this on the heels of talking trash about Puffy kicking Cassie. So after saying this, and this is the point I tried to make, because I make logical arguments. I said, Puffy was hitting that woman for the same reason most powerful men would physically assault a woman. They feel like their power is being usurped. They feel like they're losing control. Their money wasn't enough to control that person. Now I'm going to have to physically control this person. I said, you as a woman is sitting up here saying, if I can't have this man because he wants me, I will get rid of the competition by beating his girl up. Now, you may have been joking, but don't you understand that that's a dynamic that needs to be taken away, period? That if I don't get what I want, I will assault the person to get it. That is the reason why people are stealing from people who have what they don't. That is the reason why people are fighting over each other, and you see this. We can't in one breath say assault somebody so I can get what I want is bad, and then say I will assault somebody to get what I want. You're sending mixed messages, and especially when women do it, it becomes a joke. And men have become a joke to women. We die at 10 years average younger age than they do. Do you know if women died 10 years younger average than we did, they would have all types of advertisements saying we got to protect these women. We got to make sure these women can live the same average age. Do you understand that these men who play football, who will probably die of prostate cancer, walk around in October wearing pink?
Yes.
That's not the cancer that's going to kill you, bro. Why are you men not looking out for yourself? Men make fun of men, calling men deadbeat dads, but we never sit around and call women deadbeat moms who literally give up their children to the state without penalty.
Mm-hmm.
You can't walk away from being a dad, but she can walk away from being a mom. She can kill a kid. You can't. She can legally murder a child. You can't, sir. And yet you're the first ones to help her call some man a deadbeat before you call her a deadbeat. She gives a child up for the state, to the state, and doesn't have to pay a dime as that child goes and live with an entirely new family. Nobody that shares that child's DNA. But you're bad because you left the child with her who decided to have it. You're worse off? Make that make sense.
We actually had that argument. I had a different question, but we had that argument where, you know, if that child ends up not such a good citizen, who's more to blame? The father that leaves or the mom that raised them?
Simple. The person who's left. World War II left a whole lot of women, and one in Vietnam, left a whole lot of women with children and no fathers. Do you remember any of them white women or Asian women saying, my child ain't shit because the father wasn't there? Who's left is who's supposed to take care of it. If I have a roommate, my roommate was supposed to clean and I didn't clean and my roommate stopped coming home. If the house is dirty, whose fault is it?
Yours.
It's mine. I'm still living in the house. They're not here.
Mm-hmm.
If the father's not there, let me tell you what should happen. Because let me tell you, I want you to look at the stats of single fathers. And it's a low stat because there's not very many of them. But if you know single fathers make the best parents.
Yeah, they say the results for single fathers rival nuclear family dynamics.
Do you know why? Because the father never blames the mother for not being there. We understand that if our child ain't shit, the world is going to look at us and say, you did a bad job. Not the mother wasn't there. I now have 100% autonomy if I am a single father to raise this child with whatever morals I think are correct. Yes. Because I am now God in this child's house, life. And I don't even have to share the responsibility with anyone else. So if black women were really good people, their children would reflect it. Their children would be well-spoken. Their children would be well-educated. Their children would be well-mannered. Their children would have a healthy respect for women because there's a woman there. But instead, me as a black man, guess who I learned how to call women bitches and hoes from?
Who?
Women. There was no man telling me this. There was no man telling me to go sell drugs. There was no man telling me any of these things. There was no man telling me when I was little, I was told go into the store. And back when this was before they had electronic things, they had this sticker on the price of items at the store. I was told to take a cheaper sticker off of one and put it on the other. Therefore, then when the people my mom would go up and ring something up and the people would look at it and say, surely this couch don't cost $1.25. Then she'd start yelling and tell them they're racist and it ain't her fault that it says it. They would then back off and let them have it for free. My mom would tell me to pick up the phone. When I would pick up the phone, she'd say, tell them I ain't here. So I was taught to lie. I was taught to shirk her responsibilities, and I was taught to steal. And I was taught that normally. These were things that were normal. I was taught that no matter what it is that your mother does, you don't tell nobody else. You hide what mom does. I didn't learn any of this from a black man. There was no man there. This person said he's projecting. Another black woman. You got a comment full of black women saying somebody's projecting. How am I projecting if I'm just saying what happened to me? Maybe they don't know what projection means.
I think they're using it incorrectly. But a follow-up question would be, just real quick, based on that, your experience, Tommy, does that have anything to do with how you articulate or your sentiments regarding black women? Do you think it makes you see? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when people say this.
Go ahead.
Another thing that black women love to tell you, you've been hurt. Name me an activist that was an activist that hadn't been hurt. Name one. Malcolm X became the activist he was because of what he saw, what he experienced. Martin Luther King, same thing. You experience racism, you go against it. People who've been to jail and know what it's like to be in jail usually come out and try to talk about prison reform. How can you shame someone for wanting change when typically people who've gone through something, slaves, wanted to have a slave revolt? What the hell would it look like? People who hadn't been enslaved up there going against it. Why would it matter? Let me tell you something. You know what doctors came from?
What's that?
People got sick. You're only a doctor because this is a stupid thing. If there were sick people and sick people wanted to be well, somebody said, you know what? Yes, this is messed up. Let's try to help that. Why wouldn't you look at someone who's been through it and they say, yes, of course. Mm-hmm. That's where I got this from. And then I started to get with other people who the same thing happened to them. Would you make fun of a person who'd been molested as a child who's now against molestation? You only fan that because you got beaten in the back by your dad. It wouldn't make sense. We would understand why these women who've been abused in their marriages talk about that. They are a champion of other women not wanting to go through that. But black women will do everything except listen to you. Then they say, go get help. Ma'am, I'm what's called a psychologist. What the hell are you? Y'all only use the phrase, it's two phrases black women use, and they don't mean either one of them except as an insult. Bless you and get help. When's the last time you heard a woman say bless you and she meant for you to have a good, an actual blessing? They usually say it at the end of an argument. And get help. When's the last time you ever heard one of them say get help when they actually cared about you? They only say it as an insult. Imagine someone constantly insulting you with something that then they turn around and want you to feel bad about them and what they going through. The black woman, the most disrespected. Hold on a minute. So you only saying this because you've been hurt. The black woman been in the WNBA and they don't put our face up there. Oh, you've been hurt. They keep on saying these white women look better. Oh, you've been hurt. But you get to speak out when you get hurt.
Damn, that's a great, because it's okay everywhere else, right? And so when you use your experience, and we know, let's use the word that's so popular now, our traumas to discuss, right? And then be like, you're not ignorant to the topic, right? Oftentimes people say shut up because people don't have the experience or don't know. But then when we use the experience, it's projection. Okay, that's interesting. That's
because
an
when you're speaking of fact, people are going to find a way not to discuss the fact. That's why I've been calling all kind of names, but there's nobody. You could sit up here and open up the mic, give them the link. Guarantee you wouldn't one person be able to come up here and question any fucking thing I've said. Not one. They couldn't tell you, I heard you say this, and this is my problem with it. Why not?
Yeah.
You didn't read all you people in the comment section. You haven't read one comment where a person said, he said this is why it's untrue. Because let me tell you something. If they went to any school, they would know that that's how you answer it. If somebody said 4 + 4 is 5, you would say, no, it's not. And you'd explain to them why it's not. You wouldn't just sit up there and say, you ugly. You projecting.
Yeah, no, 100%. I coach football high school, and very specifically, all my experiences is the reason why I do how I do it. Like, I'm super heavy-handed because football, it ain't easy. You want to play college football, you better be ready. Check your attitude. They will stereotype you, et cetera, et cetera. Hands off your hips. You never walk on a fit. Like, just all of it is because of my experience, and if I use the term project, you goddamn right I am. I want you to be better than me. I don't want you to miss that tackle. I'm seeing myself in you, and so I want you to be better. So I understand everything in football terms, Tommy. I apologize.
No, I love sports. That's why I always. Then they get mad when I would make things analogous to sports.
Yeah.
I look at like in baseball. Do you know the best hitting coaches? The best hitting coaches didn't hit very well. You know what they did though? They went from how they know where they made mistakes, and they try to make you not make those mistakes. That's why they make the best hitting coaches. The worst hitting coaches are the ones who hit 400.
Yeah.
What he gonna tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Barry Bonds and Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson are not coaches. Why not?
Yeah.
I can't tell you. To them, all they know is success.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all they know. And when you don't succeed, they get frustrated because they don't know what it's like to not have the success.
Yeah. They say it about Mike all the time. He can't see, like, why the hell can't you make free throw? Why can't you shoot with your eyes closed? Right? Because he's been doing
it. When he was over the team he had, they said he would just come in there and just show out on the niggas, shoot shots in their face and then walk off. You didn't teach them anything except for you're out of the league, I'm in the league, and you're still better than me, and you're not in the league. You just killed that person's confidence. You didn't raise it up.
Yeah.
That's why Mike didn't make a good coach. Remember, Magic Johnson only lasts, I think, 10 games.
Yeah.
As a coach.
Magic's terrible.
He couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Most greats from any of them, they can't teach because the best teachers typically come from people who failed. You got to be a good student to become a good teacher.
Yeah.
And to become a good student, you got to fail a lot. That white boy that played for the Indiana Pacers, that McConnell, he gonna make a great coach. A great coach. He's undersized. He barely get to stay in the league. He's been on team after team. But you know what? He learned how to work and work and work and work. And if you see all the coaches who are now coaches, they're coaches who weren't good.
Yeah. 100%. Like, hit subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So, Tom, I just got the one thing, and I want to get your insight. What the majority of people date within their own race, right? We have people in every race that date out, but overwhelmingly, we all stay within our race for the most part, right? Men want relationships. I think that's contrary to popular belief. Like, men want children, want relationships, but they want them good, not bad, So what is the remedy for men? What do men need to do differently? Because there's a mindset when you're articulating about your wife, I just use that term, right? Your woman, that you have a particular level, like you have that, and I'm going to use this cliche, alpha personality, mentality, leadership, but I don't think a majority of brothers are like you. So how do they come get with a woman that is of their own people, which is what most people do? What advice do you give them?
That's the thing.
Okay.
We do typically date in our own race. We're comfortable, and it's just like the animal kingdom. Typically, you hear the argument that men are making. They're not saying they don't want women. That's what's confusing. They're telling the women they want peace. And why are the women arguing that these men want peace? Well, you watch, one woman in the comment section said, you think we're supposed to just listen to what Tommy's saying? You clicked a link to hear two people talk. Yes, you're supposed to just listen. What else are you supposed to do? You're supposed to listen and gather when you're in class or anywhere else. When you go watch movies, I guess that's why black women are always yelling at the fucking screen instead of just watching the damn movie and then judging it at the end. Why is that something that an individual that is an adult saying they cannot do? I can't listen to one person ask another person questions and see how they respond and then judge it afterwards. I can't do that. Men are not saying they don't want women. They're saying they don't want that. They're saying that they want to be able to be heard. Hear me out. then judge. That's okay. Hear me out, then decide. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
you. Makes sense.
Hear me out, then judge.
Yeah.
So the man, just let me say something to you.
Go ahead.
I was able to send a text and say, bring me some orange juice. You see what just happened?
You got orange juice.
Orange juice didn't take long either. You saw me go from the time you saw me with my hand in there.
Oh, when you had the phone. Okay.
Yeah. Now you got a bunch of people in the comment section talking a gang of shit about me. But you know what they don't have? A man they can bring orange juice to. A man that run the house. A man that pay the bill. They don't have that. But they want to talk about a man who do it. That should be very strange. When we discuss these issues, most men are not saying they don't want women. They're saying they don't want drama. And why is that a bad thing? Unless that group believes you deserve drama. If you listen to it, what do you hear these people saying? You can't handle a strong black woman. I handle luggage. You handle snakes and lions. I should not have to handle another human being. You should not want to be cross with people you're trying to be in relationships with. And yet this is what's being offered. These men who typically date black women is because they love black women. I love black women. Love them to death. But I love my daughter too. And I didn't talk about the neighbor's kid failing classes. I didn't talk about the neighbor's kids being out all night. I didn't talk about the neighbor's kid whoring. I had to worry about my own. I didn't care if the neighbor's kid was a dumbass. I worried about my own. I wasn't hard on the neighbor's kid. I was hard on my own. When you love your own stuff, you're hard on it. You ever walk in somebody else's house and they tell you, what you think about my painting? You know you wouldn't put that motherfucker in your house. But you tell them it look good. I mean, that's your, it look pretty good. Nigga tell you what you think about my girlfriend. I wouldn't date this ugly bitch, but I mean, if that's who you want. That's how we treat things that we want versus things that we want for you. If you cared about women and you want the best, it's the same when women were saying they want men who make over 6 figures, stand over 6 feet, and all these things they said they wanted in men. They were putting it out in the atmosphere, in the world, hoping that that would be what would come back to them. When they were complaining about men who were under 6 feet, you know what they hoped when people saw that video? That only men who were 6 feet would come talk to them. So when you ask me about the videos I make, if I'm out there saying I don't like ratchet bitches who wear weave, you know what I would hope would be in my DM? A non-ratchet bitch with her natural hair, because you're putting it out in the world. And most of these men that you see out here now that are complaining about what they see, it's because they want opposite. They want different. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if you're a woman or a man that's under 6 feet, you shouldn't try to force that woman to like you. You shouldn't say your daddy was under 6 feet. You hate yourself because you under 6 feet. You ever notice you never get to tell a black woman about what her daddy ain't when she requires it from you? Bitch, your daddy was ugly. Why I gotta be handsome? Bitch, your daddy will abandon you. Why I gotta stay for your child? Bitch, your daddy wasn't around. Your daddy was a trash collector. So you should only want trash collectors. And you hate yourself because you don't want to date a trash collector. We never talk to women that damn way. We allow those women to want what they want. We never told no woman she a self-hater because she only 5'2", but she want a man 6'5".
Wow.
Damn. So, well, one key point that, so this is what, so I still need like so I understand, how we want it, what we want from our women. A key point that you just made was, you love the black women and therefore you focus on them. I don't want that part to be missed. And I don't think it would in that monologue there, but just in case. So if we've been delivering information, right? Because does the delivery matter? You got those questions a million times, right? And I know that we referenced the Bible a few times, right? So the book of Jude, chapter 1, starting at verse 22, it says there are a couple different ways to give correction. Some people you have to correct with fear, fear in the Bible, right? Like hard tone. And then others you correct with grace and understanding. Has your message and how it's been marketed is it so loud at this point that you could get more out of it being more diplomatic, or you think this is the way that it needs to be done in order to be like provocative in a way? You think that's more effective? Like, what you think?
Let me tell y'all this. And
Okay.
I love this. It's when I'm gonna give self-fellatio right here is what they call it.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody you see with a microphone in front of them talking about black women and talking about dating and talking about this, no matter how many ways they do it, you know where they came from? You know what tree they came from? The Belichick tree. The tummy check tree. You can say I'm a bad person all you want to, but I've created a bunch of niggas and bitches who've been able to pay their damn rent and look respectable in life, doing something that when I was doing it, they told me it wasn't a job. Y'all don't hear me.
God.
Every one of you doing it is doing it because of me. So say whatever you want to. Your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your daddy, or whoever it is, do this now. Has a respectful name and don't have to go sell drugs. Don't have to be homeless. Don't have to nothing. Can actually say, I can monetize my voice. And you know where they got that from?
What's that?
Talk that sass, nigga. Talk that sass.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
You're saying all this stuff about me. You wouldn't even be in these comment sections having all these damn conversations to call me the names that you call me. You wouldn't be able to have the person that you think better than me or say it better than me. And that's the point. It's just like in sports. I know you love the analogy. Dick Vermeil was called a what kind of coach?
Dick Vermeil was
Dick Vermeil, he coached the Rams when they were the greatest show on turf.
Oh yeah, wasn't Dick Vermeil?
Oh, I forgot you're not as old as I am. My bad.
No, but Dick Vermeil was like the players' coach, right?
Yes, he was considered a players' coach.
Yeah. But Parcells
is considered a what?
Yeah, he heavy-handed. Jimmy Johnson.
Ass man. But I remember Jimmy Johnson they said he cut a player. And they said
for being late.
He cut a player because the player showed up late.
Late, yeah. And
they said, do you do all players like that? He said, not all players on the team are Emmitt Smith, therefore I can't treat them all the same. He let you know. Emmitt could be late. I'll sit down and have a conversation with him. Do you think I'm going to bench him?
Yeah.
No, because it's Emmitt. But that nigga I cut, he was already on the fringe. Sometimes you have to do it that way. And so I tell people this. You don't have to like the way I deliver it.
Sure.
Go to the people that you like the way they deliver it. I don't work at Domino's. I don't work at UPS. So you don't pay me for my delivery. This ain't Amazon Prime, baby. So here's the thing. That's why I was saying earlier. If there's people who already knew they didn't like me when you had the name and the title.
Yeah.
If they weren't assholes, they would have never clicked the link. They didn't click the link to hear a word I said. And I wasn't rude in my delivery today, was I? No. I was answering your questions. Did my delivery matter? Because Jesus was crucified. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Was it their delivery? The Bible will tell you people will shun and run away from the truth. They don't want to hear it. They're adverse to it.
Yeah.
Black folks love to act like they walking out right now protesting against the system. Well, the system don't want to hear you protest against it now, does it? Doesn't matter how right you are. The cop doesn't care if it doesn't like black folks, how nice you being. Would they? By your logic. That people are mistreating you and you do nothing wrong. They just don't like you. Well, I've seen that I've done this show and it didn't matter that I did nothing wrong. They just don't like me. Because again, nothing I have said has someone challenged. And as you said, my reputation, you or someone said my reputation precedes me. So it doesn't matter if people don't like the truth. Common sense would be if it's bad, you should ignore it. You saw my name up here. If it's people I don't like, I'm not going to click the link to watch it. I don't want to hear them. I'm not going to give them a chance. So why would I sit there just to talk crap? Unless I'm an evil person. I showed up here to talk crap. I showed up here to be bothered by something I'd already been bothered by. So I'm going to eat a pizza with anchovies on it, knowing I don't like anchovies. I'm going to go to a party that people are holding with an anchovy pizza party. DJ Hamp said, hey, guys, I'm having an anchovy pizza party, and I'm going to show up to complain about the anchovies. It doesn't matter how I deliver it, because if the message is what mattered, I am not the only one delivering the message. You just ignore me. I don't watch every television station on my TV. You know why? Because it's something I don't like. I've never sat there and went by that channel and kept complaining about it, and the next day did it again, and the next day did it again. And every time that channel shows up, I go there to look at it just to complain about it. That's insane.
Like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
Perfect. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Man, oh man. I'm gonna go to the super chats. Tommy, I don't know how much time you have. I
want you to get one of them people that's doing all that typing to come up here and talk to me about what they have problem. That's what I'd love to see.
You want me to drop the link?
I'd love that. Here I go. All the typing they do, you can't get people to have a conversation with you. And that's another problem. If you look at the black community, we talk at each other, not to each other. When's the last time you've seen people get a joy out of drive-by typing people and they can talk to them? Imagine if I talked all kind of shit about Joe Biden and Joe Biden said, why don't you come up here and tell me what your problem is? I ain't gonna do it, old man.
Indeed. Yeah. I and as I've been doing these interviews, I've been specifically staying out the chat. My view on the chat is just, it is always something in there, you know. The moderator thing, I definitely take a look at. In terms of the stuff they say in there, it's just like fans to me, you know. Like when I'm looking at LeBron and them with all the comments, and especially on Twitter, I'm like, if I reply to all them, do I give them more breath, you know? So I just, you know, it's things to navigate though, 100%.
Here's what we can do, and I'll let you go to read that. But here's what we do. When we say it's like a club, when the club says no tennis shoes, no hats, well, by the logic you just used, they can say that just means more motherfuckers come up here with tennis shoes and hats. No, it don't. Actually, you start seeing people dress better. Look what the NBA did. When the NBA said we're gonna start finding you the way you're dressed, what happened? Niggas started dressing fresh as fuck now. If you, and that's the problem with black folks, we don't believe in the idea of standard. And again, I'm not knocking you, but I'm saying, if you had a standard, you can't come in my chat room and do this, or you'll get blocked. Them people want to be seen. They'd actually not only stop doing it, but start telling other people to not do it. Because they still want to be here. They're wanting to be seen. If they were getting blocked doing it, they'd stop. Because they would get tired of making more and more profiles just to say dumb shit. The reason why black women are allowed to act dumb, because nobody makes the shame is gone. If you started shaming people, you know why black women weren't having a bunch of children out of wedlock? Because there was shame in it. There's no shame in it now. You big upping the single mothers. Start back shaming them and see what happens. Start back shaming women who twerking in public and see what happens. You can go to Twitter and see a woman's whole vagina, and then she'll tell you you a coon. That same woman, because there's no shaming her. People have more problem with you up there kissing them white folks' ass for money. Oh, I'll tell you this. I'll let you go. There's a woman told me that I was sucking white men's penis. You be online sucking white men's penis. I went to her Twitter page. She was actually sucking white men's penis. People were still agreeing with this woman.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
They were agreeing with her about what she said to me. So what I say for money is wrong. What you're doing is okay. That's when you know shame is gone at that point.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. The link is dropped. Everybody is welcome. Let me read the super chats. Tommy, there may be some questions in the super chat as well.
Go ahead.
We'll figure it out.